This is Unit 16 of Pimsleur's Arabic 2. An American in Syria asks where he might find an American newspaper. You'll hear
كشك جرايد.
a newsstand,
اسمع هالمحادثة.
عفواً يا أنسة،
نعم يا أخ.
تعرفي وين ممكن اشتري جريدة أمريكية؟
جريدة أمريكية؟ لا، آسفة ما بعرف. لا استنى، هذا كشك جرايد هنيك، ممكن تشتري جريدة هنيك.
شكراً جزيلاً.
You just heard
شكراً جزيلاً.
thanks a lot.
اسمع مرة تانية.
عفواً يا أنسة،
نعم يا أخ.
تعرفي وين ممكن اشتري جريدة أمريكية؟
جريدة أمريكية؟ لا، آسفة ما بعرف. لا استنى، هذا كشك جرايد هنيك، ممكن تشتري جريدة هنيك.
شكراً جزيلاً.
Now imagine you're in a cafe with a colleague. She says, I have a lot of work now.
عندي شغل كتير هلأ.
قول
That's too bad.
يا خسارة. يا خسارة.
Her husband is a friend of yours. You ask how he is and say, I have a letter for him.
عندي رسالة إله.
She says, I will see my husband after work.
حشوف جوزي بعد الشغل.
She offers to take the letter with her. How would she add, I will buy a coffee for him too?
حاشتري قهوة إله كمان.
How would you ask her, is your coffee still hot?
لسه قهوتك سخنة؟
She answers, yes, it's very good.
إيه منيحة كتير.
And it's very hot.
وسخنة كتير.
Ask her when she's going to Egypt.
إمتى رايحة لمصر؟
Do you remember how to ask this week?
هالجمعة؟ هل؟
She answers, yes, I'm going to Egypt this week.
إيه رايحة لمصر هالجمعة.
On Friday.
الجمعة.
Remember that the words for week and Friday are the same. How do you ask her? Next Friday?
الجمعة الجاية؟
She tells you, no, this Friday.
لا هالجمعة.
قول
Egypt is very beautiful.
مصر حلوة كتير.
Say that there are many things to see there.
في شي كتير تشوفه هنيك.
Now ask her how the weather is there.
كيف الطقس هنيك؟
How does she answer that it's not hot?
مو شوب.
But it's not very cold.
بس مو بارد كتير.
She says, it's nice.
حلو. حلو كتير.
She says again, Egypt is very beautiful.
مصر حلوة كتير.
She says there are many things to see there.
في شي كتير تشوفه هنيك.
قول
After your trip,
بعد سفرتك.
we can have lunch together with your husband?
ممكن نتغدى سوا مع جوزك؟
She agrees. Later, she says, "The weather is hot in Damascus today."
الطقس شوب بالشام اليوم.
How do you tell her, "Have a good trip"?
بالسلامة.
We can have lunch together after your trip.
ممكن نتغدى سوا بعد سفرتك.
Remembering that you're speaking as a man, say that you're traveling to Italy.
مسافر لإيطاليا.
Say that you're leaving after work.
امشي بعد الشغل.
Say that you're traveling to Italy next week.
مسافر لإيطاليا الجمعة الجاية.
She says, "Italy is very beautiful."
إيطاليا حلوة كتير.
But how's the weather there?
بس كيف الطقس هنيك؟
Is it hot now?
شوب هلأ؟
جاوب.
Yes, I think so.
إيه بظن هيك.
There are many things to see there.
في شي كتير تشوفه هنيك. تشوفه.
As she prepares to leave, she says, "I have the coffee for my husband."
عندي القهوة لجوزي.
You hand her your letter and say to her, "Here's the letter for him too."
تفضلي الرسالة إله كمان. تفضلي.
Tell her, "Have a good trip to Egypt."
بالسلامة لمصر.
Now it's another day and you're talking to a friend. She asks, "Next Tuesday?"
الثلاثة الجاية؟
Can you come over to our place?
ممكن تيجي لعنا؟
On Tuesday night?
3 بالليل؟
Referring to a man, she says, "A colleague of mine is coming too."
زميلي جاي كمان.
Can you come over to our place?
ممكن تيجي لعنا؟
جاوب.
Yes, all right. At what time?
إيه طيب، أي ساعة؟
She asks, "At 7:45?
الساعة 8:15؟
جاوب.
Yes, that's good.
إيه منيح. منيح.
She says again, "A colleague of mine is coming too."
زميلي جاي كمان.
With his children.
اسمع أعيد.
مع أولاده. دو. أولاده. مع أولاده.
كيف بتقول؟
His children.
أولاده.
Here's how she says, "With his 3 children."
اسمع أعيد.
مع أولاده 3. 3. أولاده 3.
She says, "My colleague is coming."
زميلي جاي
with his 3 children.
مع ولاده 3.
Do you remember how to say 2 girls
بنتين
and a boy?
وولد وولد
My colleague is coming with his 3 children.
زميلي جاي مع ولاده 3.
She says he's coming to our place next week.
جاي لعنا الجمعة الجاية
Next Tuesday with his children.
الثلاثة الجاية مع ولاده.
They are from England.
هن من إنجلترا.
سؤال
Do they speak Arabic?
بيحكوا عربي؟
She says, yes, they speak English and Arabic.
إيه بيحكوا إنجليزي وعربي.
They live in Aleppo now.
ساكنين بحلب هلأ.
But they're from London.
بس هن من لندن.
He's coming with his children.
جاي مع ولاده.
My colleague and his wife
زميلي ومرته
and their children
اسمع أعيد
وولادن دون ولادن وولادن
they live in Aleppo now.
ساكنين بحلب هلأ.
How did she say their children?
ولادن ولادن.
Ask your friend, is his wife coming too?
مرته جاية كمان؟
She answers, I don't know. She's going to London this week.
ما بعرف. رايحة للندن هالجمعة.
She corrects herself. No, next week.
لا الجمعة الجاية.
But I know my colleague is coming.
بس بعرف زميلي جاي
With his 3 children.
مع ولاده 3. مع ولاده 3.
سؤال
How's the weather in England now?
كيف الطقس بإنجلترا هلأ؟
She says, it's cold.
بارد بارد.
She says, my colleague is not going to London with his wife.
زميلي مو رايح للندن مع مرته.
That's too bad.
يا خسارة.
Yes, she's going to London without my colleague.
إيه رايحة للندن بلا زميلي.
And without their children.
وبلا ولادن. وبلا ولادن.
Next week,
الجمعة الجاية.
She's going to London without their children.
رايحة للندن بلا أولادن.
My colleague will stay at home with his 3 children.
زميلي حيبقى بالبيت مع أولاده 3. حيبقى بالبيت.
كيف بتقول؟
With their children.
مع أولادن.
That's too bad. Why?
يا خسارة، ليش؟
She wants to say, the trip is expensive. First, do you remember how to ask, is gas expensive in Syria?
البنزين غالي بسوريا؟ غالي؟
What's the word you know for expensive?
غالي. غالي.
Here's how to say, the trip.
اسمع أعيد.
الرحلة. رحلة. الرحلة.
How would she say, the trip is very expensive?
الرحلة غالية كتير. الرحلة غالية كتير.
A trip.
رحلة. رحلة.
كيف بتقول؟
It's expensive.
غالية.
Your friend says she's going to London without their children.
رايحة للندن بلا أولادن.
Now try to say, the trip to England, it's expensive.
الرحلة لإنجلترا غالية. غالية.
Here's the Arabic word for more expensive.
اسمع أعيد.